Hello everyone, it's Jen. So today's video is going to be a review on foundation and a primer. So I did something I don't normally do, which is I spent a whole lot of money on a bottle of foundation and a tube of primer. So this is a $40, this is $30, and it is from Huda Beauty. Is it worth the $40 or the $70 price tag? Well, we're about to find out. All right, so I have this on my face right now. This is in the shade Panna Cotta. I did go to Sephora and was color matched for it. I do like it. I've got some pros and cons of it. I've been using it for about 2 days. So the pros is it does have very good coverage. It says that it is a full coverage foundation. However, I think, at least for me, it was more of a medium coverage, but is definitely buildable to be made into a full coverage foundation. I used 2 pumps of it, so I took about 1 full pump for my whole face, and I didn't quite get as much coverage with that as I had wanted to, so I went ahead and I just used another pump of it, and on the second coat of my face, I got the exact coverage I was looking for. I was a little concerned when I was applying it because it was very white. It came out like very, very white, and I was a little concerned because I looked a little bit like a ghost, but it does oxidize a lot, actually a lot more than other primers or other foundations that I have used have, but once it oxidized, and then after using my bronzer and my contour and all of that good stuff, the color match was actually pretty good, and I did not look quite so white. So it does dry down to a matte finish. It is kind of sticky and tacky though at first, and I had to actually set it with some setting powder to kind of get some of that tackiness to go away. And it does apply very easily. I think you do get more coverage using a foundation brush, but you get a smoother application, I think, when you use a beauty blender. So what I did is I went in with the foundation brush first, and then blended it that way using that, and then I went back in with the beauty blender and kind of just tapped it all out, smoothed it all out, and I got a lot smoother, cleaner application that way, I think. So it does have a very nice airbrushed, flawless finish once it dries. It does definitely look very nice on your skin, and it does definitely do that. It has a really big shade range. Like there's like 30 different shades, I think. There's a lot. So it's not as difficult to try and find your shade that will fit you, because there's like 30 different shades, which I think is great. And it does last for a long time. I've had this on now for about 12 hours, I think, and I have to say after about 12 hours it looks pretty good. There is some areas that I'm seeing that like on my chin here a little bit, it looks like it's maybe separated a little bit, and then also kind of like on my nose it separated a little bit, and I'm a little greasy, which is not usually something I have. So I do definitely think the greasy feeling that I'm experiencing now is either from the primer or the foundation, but it is not a huge amount, and it's mainly just kind of right up in here. It's something that, I mean, if you were to just, blot your face with a Kleenex or something like that, it takes it right down or powder it again, which I did do once. And then it is kind of around my nose. I can kind of see like my pores are a little extenuated in that area, but I just started noticing that in the last couple of hours, which meant that it's been on for like 10 hours before I really started to see that big of a difference. And then it is kind of starting to settle into my fine lines that I have on my forehead just a little bit. But I mean, it's been on for about 12 hours. You know, it's been on my face for a good long time. So for the amount of time that I've had it on, it definitely does not look bad at all. I was kind of iffy on it, on whether I liked it or I didn't like it, but I think comparing it to like what it looks like now after 12 hours and what I was using before, this definitely did hold up pretty well. I would suggest to set it with powder right like as soon as you can, so it doesn't have time to kind of crack or separate or anything. I was able to put it on, set it with my powder, and then put the contour and the bronzing and everything, and it went on right over the top of it just fine. I did take a picture with my flash. There's a tad bit of flashback on it. It is not a huge amount, but it is just enough to be noticeable. So you might want to be careful with that if you are somebody that has to take pictures with the flash on a lot. So it's $40. More than I ever thought I would ever spend on a bottle of foundation. It is a pretty good sized bottle. I do think that it would last you a long time. It does have a pump. I'm gonna do just a little bit because I don't want to waste it because it is really expensive. But you can see that it is definitely like a cream foundation. It is not a liquid foundation. It's not the thickest one that I've ever seen, but it is definitely thicker. The primer has a pretty strong smell to it. So if you're somebody that you don't like a lot of smells, you might not like this. If there or a lot of fragrance, I mean, I'm sorry. It's like 2 a.m. I'm very tired. So yeah, if you don't like fragrance, you might not like this primer because it is very strong. It goes away, I would say, probably after about a half an hour. But for that first half an hour, it did seem like it was very, very strong. It says that this is also like a moisturizer, that it can be used as a primer underneath your makeup, or it can also be used alone by itself. So that is the primer right there. It is pretty white. And when this, oh, yep. See, it definitely, like I said earlier, it goes on very, I had no intention of actually doing that. But that's what happens when you don't pay attention. So, as you can tell, it did go on very, very white, which made me pretty nervous. But it did actually blend down and pretty good. And so it wasn't quite so bad. But the foundation or the primer is very sticky. It is very tacky. So just kind of be mindful of that. But all in all, it's not too bad. So, I mean, like I said, this was $40. This is $30. So it's $70. I do think it works well. I have not decided, I guess, if I'm going to keep it or not. I think I'm going to, but yeah, pretty much that's my review. Oh, it does start to transfer just a little bit after a while. Like I was on the phone and my foundation did kind of transfer to my phone for a little bit. But that was after wearing it for several hours. So, yeah, so that is everything that I have for you today in my review. Let me know what you think. Have you used this product or the primer? Have you used one or the other? Just let me know what you think. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all next time. Bye.